Greetings and welcome back once again to From the Depths and to the belly of our flagship cruiser. I've decided that it's going to be a cruiser. It's a ship built for independent action. It doesn't need a supporting fleet, or at least I hope it's not going to need a supporting fleet because it's not going to have one for a little while. But given that, and given that it's a missile ship, it's of mid-size, I feel that calling it a cruiser seems to be the most fitting. But as you can see, I've changed a few things. We have a new set of ammo barrels there, though I'm a little bit concerned about stacking all the ammo up there. But look up here. That's right. I've been very busy placing down a lot of metal. Now, you might think that I've only clad the deck in metal, but I haven't. I've actually added a new layer. We have the original layer of wood and then a new layer of metal on top. Now, the very astute among you will realize that that means our missile system needs to be one taller, because previously they were one layer above the deck, and if the deck is one taller and there's still one above it, that means they are now 6 blocks tall, not 5, and that is quite true. I'm going to quickly go over what the missile systems are now. With the extra space, which gives us 2 new components, I have added a fuel tank, and I've added a fragmentation warhead. I have saved this as the Wasp Mark II frag. The Wasp Mark II is built for taking out air. Currently, it wouldn't work on our missile systems. Basically, it's from the previous campaign. We had a lot of luck with having an advanced guidance system, the augmented proportional navigation guidance, but on something that doesn't have a turret, that's going to be pretty hard to fire, because one turn from my experimenting in the ship designer whilst doing the sciencing with missiles, I found that one turn plus any kind of advanced guidance does some very derpy things, and we definitely need one turn with vertical launched missiles. So these missiles are more long range. I know this pair is set up for taking out air targets. This one is set to prioritize distant targets. This one is set to have no specific priority for range, so it'll generally attack anything that is very heavily armed. And this one is set to prioritize altitude above anything else. So, as a result, these ones will be attacking air targets with missiles that are built for taking on ships. But for things like Atlases, that's perfectly acceptable. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why this looks different. And why it looks bloody awesome. That is because I redesigned it. I also shaped it. I spent a fair bit of time trying to get this more rounded instead of a square with rounded corners. And I think I actually did a fairly good job of it, if I must say so myself. We have redesigned this gun though, but as it's more or less pretty much the same gun, but with slight improvements here and there. There are about 3 or 4 main points that I want to cover, but on the whole it was just another cannon. I think the design is perhaps interesting. It's quite compact in my opinion, and I was kind of torn with having you around to redesign this, as I'd be walking through my thought processes and trying to puzzle out how to get it all to fit. But I've actually had some comments regarding including that part of building, so I left it out. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it out in the future. It does feel kind of weird. I like including that sort of stuff with my Let's Plays because I like seeing it in other Let's Plays, and ultimately I make Let's Plays that I would like to watch myself. Well, you know, obviously there's no point in me watching my own Let's Plays. I already know what's going to happen, but you know what I mean. But we're going to cover the 4 main points first and foremost. The first one is I've actually got the modular AI, because this is actually on the turret itself, quite a lot more compact than usual. And I did this by attaching this upside down. I know it doesn't look like that, but that's just because it reorientates itself when placed. But it is placed upside down. To do that, I placed the firing piece on top of the turret. I tried to build out a bunch of wood from behind, but as it happens, you can't build off the back of a firing piece. So I built these 2 lanes of 6-way connectors, and then I built the wood off them. Then I simply attach that upside down, and then all the other components are the right way up. That is simply connecting into the side. This is connecting into the side as well. Now, usually I have those connecting underneath. which is a bit of deviation from the norm for me, and that's usually why my turrets are so tall, because I have to have a layer of the AI, then the AI weapon controller, and the firing piece somewhere there as well. But on top of that, then I just have the wireless receiver, and that all seems to work out pretty nicely. The next point I have is this weapon has enough warheads, that is armor-piercing and explosive warheads, that every shot it fires, based on its reload time, will be an armor-piercing explosive warhead. Now that gives this much more destructive capability. We have a very long barrel. It has a lot of the recoil suppressors, simply because this is a ship, and that will really throw the aim off quite a lot. But if we have a look here, recoil is only 294. That's less than the other gun that I built with you on camera. Now, the very nice thing here is its armor-piercing value is 7.2. Now, that number is significant because there's only one type of block that has more than 7 armor. Lightweight metal alloy, which is the second most defensive armor, has 7, so this can pierce through that. Metal armor, which is what I've built my boat mostly out of, has 10. So it wouldn't be able to pierce through that, but the explosive damage would eventually wear through metal armor anyway. It has 6,600 ammo, and it uses about 29, well, exactly 29, which means more or less it has about 220, well, a little bit more than 220 shots out of its internal ammo supply. And with a reload time of 0.66, that's a bit more than 140 seconds of sustained fire. So this can shoot for a little bit over 2 minutes by itself. If we lost our ammo stockpile, which unfortunately, given how clustered it is in there, is, you know, an increasingly dangerous reality that we're going to have to face, this would still be able to fire for 2 minutes before running out of ammo. Obviously it wouldn't, because unfortunately our AI is right around the ammo. That is something that we're going to I hope to fix in this episode. We're going to be working on the bridge, so I can move these AI components away. Ooh, what's that over yonder? There's something blue. Is there something near us? Also, I don't really need this to be going over there, so I'm just going to tell it to chill out here. Fortress, no, stop moving. Same with you. In fact, let me make sure they're back in the same fleet together. There we go. That should make things a little bit easier for me. Now, we do have some enemies on the way. In fact, this enemy is targeting us because it's close enough that it's specifically aiming for us now, not just visiting the location. This is the 11th Airborne. Not so good. Force count 3, strength 36. Now, I believe the Shrikes have a strength of 40, but I could be wrong with that. I'm a little bit concerned either way because it's an airborne fleet. We have the 9th Army, force count 4, strength 38. We also have the 9th Mercantile Navy, force count 3, strength 40. We have the 6th Airborne, force count 2, strength 40, which is frightening. And the 1st Airborne, force count 3, strength 36. So we have a lot of stuff making its way to us right now. We're very, very popular, and hopefully that will mean that we'll have a lot more metal to play around with. Now, we're going to start... Actually, before we start work on the bridge, there's one more thing I wanted to do, and I've been meaning to do this for a little while. I've seen this on some other designs, and I think it's a really good idea. We are going to build a bunch of repair bots into the floor here. And one more out. There we go. Now, hopefully that will get repairs to any deck damage a little bit faster than the repair bots having to come up from below. But for the moment, I'm happy. Where are the enemy? They should be showing up somewhere, and then I can orientate myself properly, but I can't see them. Oh well. Oh, actually, before we begin on the bridge, there was that little matter of a name. That's right. In the previous episode, this ship proved itself. It went through trial by fire and came out unscorched, relatively speaking. So it deserves a name. It is not going to be a Robert Paulson. It is going to be something far more epic. I had a pretty long think about what I was going to name the class of ship. This being a cruiser, built for independent action, fairly Well, I guess it's long range in a way. At least it's a long range for one thruster on a missile. But still, it's not a capital ship. But so I don't want it to be too epic. So I was trying to think of something more of a supportive role and to have a theme. I was thinking perhaps to use like a marine theme, so like fish, that sort of stuff. But I decided to go with something a little bit more interesting. And I can see the enemies over there now, so I want to rotate this ship to face them if I can. Yeah, let's turn you around. Now, the idea I have is for mythological creatures. I think that would be quite fitting myself. And so, obviously, being Welsh, we're going to start with the Welsh mythological creatures. I am sure that most of you won't have a bloody clue what these things are, so I'll go with a little bit of explanation. But let's go ahead and save this constructible. This is going to be the new class. This is not going to be medium hull. We're not going to save over medium hull. Or at least I hope not. No, good, good, good. A new update as well has added a version numbers. If I were to save medium hull, it would become version 1 automatically. We don't want to do that because this is a new ship. It's going to be the Annwn. No spaces. Right then, there we go. The Annwn class cruiser. Now, despite your no doubt unfamiliarity with Welsh mythology, you are probably familiar with the idea behind the Annwn to a certain degree. It's been borrowed by many other mythologies and certainly religions. I'm looking at you, Christianity. And you would probably be more familiar with them in the form of hellhounds or Gabriel hounds. Though, again, it's not really what I'm familiar with from Welsh mythology. The Annwn, the Cwn being the Welsh word for hound, and Annwn being, well, I hazard to say the underworld. That's more of a Christian thing, the heaven and hell above, below sort of idea. Welsh, it's more the other world, if you will. Not so much the land of the dead, but the land of the fae, the land of the spirit. And the Annwn are the loyal hounds of the king of Annwn. Being winter, this is a particularly good time to name anything the Annwn, because this is time when they're particularly active. It is the time of the wild hunt, where they are released to hunt down the souls of the recently dead, or the soon-to-be dead, in fact. Not so much predators. Well, I guess they kind of are, if you've been a scallywag in your life, but for the most part, they're more shepherds of the dead. Large, sort of ethereal white hounds with red-tipped ears and snout. And finally, of course, there is the kind of nice fit for a warship of the Annwn, because if you can hear the Annwn and you're alive, it means you're not going to be alive for very much longer. Your death is imminent, and the Cwn are already on their way to collect your soul. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to start work on the bridge. It has been long enough while we wait for our enemies to arrive. I'm still wondering about the name for this vehicle. I've got a few options, and there's one that I'm kind of fond of. But let's get a bit of a bridge going first. Let's pad this out. We want it to about this far, I think. And then down here again. Okay, this is going to be a fairly tall bridge. We're not going to have a small vessel. Let's get this over there. We're going to need to put the AI in here, as well as have the controls. I'm thinking the controls will be on the upper deck of the bridge, and then the AI will be on this lower deck, though perhaps that is a bad idea because the ammo is directly beneath it. I'm thinking that maybe I should spread the ammo out a little bit, just so that there's less explosive force in one place, ready to ruin my day. Well, actually, you know what? Let's put that up there. And then I can do the same here. In fact, if I do that, I can do that here as well. We are going to be having windows on the bridge, obviously, because, you know, again, our robot needs natural light. We do want a decent amount of armor, though, and this side is going to be just fully armored. In fact, I might make it too thick. I'm going to think about that, though. For now, we're just going to roll with this. I'll have 2 layers of windows. It's not going to be wood, by the way. This is just a placeholder, and then I'll replace it over time. Now, let's pop that in there like so. Do the same here. Okay, I actually quite like this little bridge area. That's not bad at all. We'll also add the door so that it looks nice and proper. There we go. Where is the door? That'll be under miscellaneous, standard door. It would help, actually, if it wasn't locked. There we go. Now, we are going to be going with another ramp leading up to the upper deck, but we're not really going to have the sort of room necessary for that long ramp there. So we're going to go with a shorter ramp. It's going to be a little bit more, a little bit of a steeper thing, but it should still work, I imagine, anyway. There we go, and up again, and once more. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll fill this in with the wood blocks, though. We don't want our stairwell. These are stairs in my mind, not ramps. But we don't want that to lead to anyone falling. And there we go. Right, so it's a little bit more robust. It can take a knock or two before the stairs are completely gone. And we'll now fill out the top as well. We'll have this, yeah, about that long. Enough room to poke your head up. Actually, yeah, we'll do this and then just have some wood blocks about here. There we go. I think that is a decent enough bridge for now. Now, I'm wondering if maybe I should have a laser built into the bridge. I'm not sure on that one, though. I'm fairly certain I will be putting trackers on there, though, just to help with my cannon from time to time. But that will do as the beginning of the bridge. Now, should I bring the AI up here? We've got plenty of room to bring the AI up here. I could have one there. In fact, I only need 2 tiles forward and back. Ooh, we've got our enemies here. Okay. Oh, that's so loud. Are the missiles going the right way? Let me come out of build mode. And actually, let me run away like a coward and get into the belly of the ship where it's much safer, even though it's full of ammunition. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Oh dear. You know what? That is perfectly fine. Let's bring up the AI and then rush over there so I can see what's going on. There we go. It's nice and slow, unfortunately. It's nice because I can see what's happening. Unfortunate because it's 8 frames a second. But it looks like we've already just annihilated a ship. I'm fairly certain the entire first volley from our cruiser just wailed on a single target. What kind of ship was that it's still alive? Looks like a Marauder, I believe. I could be wrong with that, though. But the next volley is coming in. It'll probably solve its problem with being alive, and then the Annwn can come along and collect it, perhaps. But actually, thinking about that, whilst I have a few moments, considering how slow this is. Wow, I really wish my missiles would stop bouncing. We probably would have already taken that ship out if all of them had actually done damage, though it does look like we've hit some ammo stockpile there, so I doubt that ship is long for this world at this point. But we are going to name our ship. It's not the Annwn. It is going to be a different ship, christen it slightly differently, and I've decided, whilst I've been chatting on the name I'm going to go with, I had a short list, really. It's going to be HMS, naturally. Obviously, we need a space there, so I'll just have an underscore. We're going to have the HMS Eversong. Now, this ticks the boxes on multiple levels. Let's make sure that name took. Yes, it did. Firstly, it's named after a woman. That is Alana. Well, it's not really named after Alana. That is the name that she often uses for her roleplay characters in her Let's Plays. I imagine many of you the name will ring a bell or two because it's in my featured Let's Player list. If you're interested in anything like Baldur's Gate, or at the moment I think she's playing Civilization 5, actually. And Fallout, then go check her out. She does pretty awesome content, especially with RPGs. But Eversong ticks the box for naming a ship after a woman, and also it's kind of a more oldie-worldy name. It's more fitting with the idea of the mythological theme that I'm going to be going with the class name. So yeah, I think that's quite fitting. I quite like that. So we have named our cruiser, our flagship, the Eversong. And the Eversong is currently busy sawing atlases in half with missiles. I approve. Though you are actually suffering a little bit from recoil. I'm not so happy about that, if I'm perfectly honest. Maybe once I've clad the rest of the ship in metal, Oh, wow, we've got so much metal right now. I probably could make a start on that. No, I'll do that off screen. But we've got so much metal now. We might actually be able to get most of the hull clad properly. But yeah, you are being driven back by the recoil on that gun. Let's give you a little bit of forward momentum to try and counteract it. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Maybe I should make it a priority to get a naval AI in here to help steering it, so that it doesn't just drift off when things like that are going on. But it looks like that Atlas is... Yeah, I think that Atlas is pretty much over. But as you can see, purple trails on all of the bullets mean that they are both explosive and armor piercing. I'm pretty happy with that. Right, you can cut your engines now. How long have we got before the next attack? We've got a little while, actually. Alright, let me zoom up. I think I'm going to continue working on this bridge off camera. I'm also going to quickly use that metal to clad this in as much more armor as I can, because I really would feel much more comfortable if the area around our ammo stockpile especially is properly protected. So I'm going to pause the recording here, and I shall bring you back in a few moments. And welcome back. We have the 9th Army with a count of 4 and a strength of 38 bearing down upon us right now. But as you can see, I have gone to some lengths to improve the armor of the HMS Eversong. I've also added some jet stabilizers to try and help with the pitching and rolling of the vessel at the moment. All of this extra my lord. All of this extra weight has caused the vessel to start to roll to one side, or just favor one side a little bit. But the jet stabilizers are doing a pretty good job of trying to counteract that. But the unfortunate truth is I may need to redesign this in some ways to try and help with the buoyancy. Let's see. It shouldn't be underwater yet. It feels like it is. 0 is flooded. Total available underwater. Buoyancy is okay. What about over here? Looks like they have loaded in. Okay, let's have a quick look at what we're facing. It's... Ooh, it looks like a coffin nail, honestly. Oh, I'm not sure about that. A little bit concerned about that. But one thing I've been considering doing is changing some of the stuff down here, because I'm not sure that this is going to work, because it's not sealed. As far as the game is concerned, that is not a sealed section. Ooh, we're getting a lot of firepower coming in. Looks like the fortress is turning around to help, though. We've got a lot of missiles in the sky, but so much ordnance coming down on us right now. Not liking that at all. Hopefully our repair bots will be able to deal with any particular damage that's coming in. It looks like our missiles are almost at their target. That'll be 2 full volleys of our missiles. They should be enough to knock anything out of the sky if they can hit it. And the explosions are happening right now by the looks of it. Yep, it looks like that coffin nail just got walloped by an entire volley of missiles. Let's get in there, see if there's any particular damage into it, because it's still in the sky. I'm a little bit surprised by that. But here comes the second volley now. It is launching missiles at us. Hopefully our armor will be able to take that. And there we go. The second volley have just connected. Decent damage, I would imagine. If we get in there and have a closer look, we are definitely pulling in quite a lot of materials from it. And I'm wobbling all over the place because I didn't do that first. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. We've taken out huge sections of this beast. Oh, I have been wondering how you've had that rotating thing in the middle of your craft for so long. And now suddenly it makes sense. You use light blocks, which are kind of ethereal in a way. But our missiles should be able to take you out of the sky. You are definitely not being able to control yourself quite the way you want to. And, ooh, right in the gun. That looked painful. I didn't use the word I was thinking. But I'm sure you can work out what part of its body, if it were to be considered a body, I thought that looked like. Okay, the Atlas has been absolutely ruined. We've got plenty of explosive shells coming in, and we have a lot of firepower coming from our fortress at the moment, which is fantastic. It looks like the coffin nails missiles are not capable of reaching us, which is absolutely fantastic for us. And this Atlas probably won't be in the fight for much longer. To be honest, I think the coffin nail can't even properly aim at this point, so it's not even a threat. That missile would be a concern if it weren't... Ooh, actually, is it going to make it, or is it going to run out of fuel? No, it ran out of fuel right in front of us. Okay, well, that could have been a concern, but I'm fairly happy with it at the moment. And it looks like we've actually hit the coffin nails ammo supply, and it's gone. Fair enough. That should bring in a good chunk of metal, but right now my ammo fabricators are using up a lot of that to replenish the ammo on the HMS Eversong. It'll also be sharing that with the fortress. So I don't know. We might not end up with too much from this, unless once the spoils from the coffin nail reach us, it ends up being a lot. Yeah, look at that going up right now. That is glorious. We're over 10,000 metal. That will cover the cost of recladding the Eversong, which is pretty good because we were very low all of a sudden. I wasn't happy about that at all. And it looks like that missile is going to find you in just a moment, unless it has just run out of gas. No, it still found you. And now everything is aiming for you. It is a bad day to owe your allegiance to the Deepwater Guard, it seems. And the missile's almost caught you in the air, actually. That's pretty impressive. And there we go. You are utterly doomed. Okay, not too bad. As you can see, I have been armoring the bridge section here. Enough that I am contemplating bringing the missile AI up here. I mean, it's not a whole lot of good from down here, though I've been told that the ammo barrels will only explode up to 3 tiles away. So as long as you have a bit of a gap, so it's 1, 2, 3. It would take out the floor, but wouldn't take out the AI itself if I just get rid of this ammo barrel. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Now, obviously, you know, it's not going to be grand if we lose all of the ammo barrels at once, but at least if they can't knock the AI out, we're not going to be dead in the water. In fact, with that, I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with wooden beams again. Now, I will probably eventually replace as much of this with metal armor as I can. Right now, I'm not going to prioritize that simply because it is so prohibitively expensive to try and do that. That'll do for now in keeping this place okay. But as you can see, we're going to be padding on a bridge section here. I'm fairly certain I will go ahead and add the AI in here. We'll have one... Well, yeah, I basically need a 2x3 area for the AI. So I can have one AI there, one AI here, and then another one here as well. All kind of tucked in, and I'll build up the armor a little bit in this room. But they'll be for controlling the missiles. The cannon AI... I could leave that down here. In fact, I could change this one to being the cannon AI, because that's pretty far away from the ammo. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, actually. So yeah, we could do that. And then my weapon systems will at least be a little bit better defended. Though, obviously, anything that takes out the bridge will take out the missile systems. But if I have the cannon down there, then at least we're not going to lose the cannon as well. Though, perhaps, with that in mind, I could even leave 2 of the AI systems down here, just to kind of not put all of my eggs in one basket. So I'll take 2 of the weapon AIs and build them into this section here, and then we'll have the actual naval AI up top with the controls, and then maybe we'll have a laser on top of the bridge, or just some tracking units, and a deck gun at the stern here. But not sure. We've got very little space to fit a deck gun. Maybe we won't be able to do that. Maybe we're just going to have the forward deck gun only. We'll have to have a look at that, but that'll all be for the next episode, I think. So in this one, we have fought off 2 fairly large attacks from the Deepwater Guard. They are not running out of resources, though. they're going to keep sending them at us, and they're going to keep getting stronger. So I think in the next episode, I will do a little bit of building. I'll move the AI into the bridge as I have planned, but we're going to be sending off the HMS Eversong to capture the neighboring resource zone. It should be enough on its own to take that resource zone out, and if it's not, well, I'm not really sure what we could hope to do anyway. But while we're over there, I may even build on some resource gatherers, just connect them to the side of the ship, so that while it's stationary in an area, it can gather resources. But again, that will be for the next episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this one, and I hope you'll be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.